Here's our nectarine tree. We just netted it this yesterday, and hopefully it protects it from the birds. But all we have on this one is just one little cluster there. The rest of them, it's growing some buds, but it's not going to have any fruit this year, of course. But that's from trimming it a year ago. Here's the chickens. Hey girls, how are ya? In their coop, which is kind of in a new place. That was actually an unused part of the yard, and a little bit of poison ivy and stuff there, but they've actually done a good number, because if you look right over there, that's what it looked like before, and they're kind of decimating it, which was my plan here, that they get to kind of pick around and do what they will. Our strawberries coming in pretty good. They've been pretty well picked over right now, but we have some everbearing, some June-bearing, and we even have some wild strawberries. That's what that is. It's a full-grown wild strawberry down there. They're kind of small, but they're very, very sweet. Wine grapes have been doing pretty awesome this year. In fact, we have our first fruits, and it's coming in really nice, and they're just starting to turn color. We got some on that one, and that one. I think that we may have some on the end one, but there's 3 bushes. Your yield can be up to 10 pounds, which is about a gallon of wine per bush. Our hope here is, of course, 5 or 6 gallons, but this is looking like it's probably going to be at most 3, but more likely a gallon of wine or so this year. Decided to use this small bed for cucumbers this year. They're coming in pretty nice. In fact, this one is working its way up the trellis here and is even starting to flower. So we're going to get some cukes, and we're going to get them pretty soon. Greens are in the big one here, and yeah, there's a lot of weeds in that one too. But we've been weeding this like twice a week, so everything's just coming in very fast, and that's okay, because we'll probably pick the greens pretty soon and then just till it up and replant. Our hops are doing excellent. Look at that. We got 3 of them all the way up to the window there. And they're coming back really strong this year. The 2 on the end aren't doing as well. Those are British varieties, so I've heard that they take a little bit longer. I think it's Fuggles and Goldings. They take a little bit longer to establish, but these ones, these are kind of IPA strains, and they are doing awesome. Here's the cherry tree. Look at this thing. These are just about ready to pick. There's a few of them that are just about ripe. Nice and red. These get like dark red though when they're ready. So another week and we'll be picking a lot of cherries. It's our first crop of peaches. This tree has been doing very good. This year we've got a handful of peaches that are coming through. It's actually a year early, but I didn't decide to take out the flowers because I think this plant can handle it. It's got a nice solid stem on it, so we're going to go for it and see how it does. And there's the main garden, our hugel beds. Now this is the thing that gets the most questioned. Hugelkulture means mound garden in German, and as you can see, if you can kind of make it out there, there's actually several logs buried there. There's also a row there, and one, kind of hard to tell there, right there where it goes down. And of course there's this one. So they're in varying stages right now. This is probably the best evidence I can show of how well it works. If you can kind of tell, the rows that are along the hugel beds, which are kind of along this side, those are tomatoes planted at the same time as this row that goes down the middle. And the ones on the side are like twice the size of the ones in the middle, and they are just doing amazing. We got some peas there. We've got a whole bunch of potatoes. We'll have no problem with potatoes this year. And we even tried some bucket potatoes again, though I have never had good success with that. We got our beans, which are along a hugel bed, doing excellent as well. We've got some eggplant and some basil. We've got, we weren't sure if these were squash or if they're more cucumbers, but either way we'll have some more vines growing there. We've got some more basil, and there are some carrots in there, and then along this there's a row of kale. Just wanted to come back here and show the kind of varying stages of what happens during the hugelkulture. So this is the back side of those potato plants, and we actually have some exposed wood back here. I pulled this up yesterday or a couple days ago. But if you kind of dig down, you know, we got some ants down there. That's going to happen. You're going to have some different creatures crawling through here. There was a big spider. But this is just, it's like wet, spongy wood. And that's essentially what you're burying. You know, you're making this ecosystem underneath the dirt. You're basically putting in compost that comes back and gives you compost that's really breaking down underneath the roots. You can see we have some yard waste we just kind of pile up through the season. We also have a nice big compost pile over there. But this, you can kind of peel back some of the bark here to see what's under there. It's kind of moldy. You got a bunch of bugs, a bunch of critters. Like I said, you're going to have that. But this stuff here is just absolutely excellent. And we got a whole row there. This one was so high that we were unable to really do anything with it until we can get some more dirt. But that's okay, because we have a full garden as it stands right now. You know, just kind of checking out what this is. There's all sorts of little bugs. And this has been decomposing a little bit longer than the other one. And you can just see, like, that is going to make awesome soil when it's ready. And underneath there, you can tell again, that row there is probably the most established, along with this one. And it really grows some nice stuff. Back along the bridge here, and we've got an apple tree, and this one is a Cortland, I believe. Yeah, it's a Cortland. You can see the apples are starting to change color. We have a bunch of them on this tree, and this is the first year that it's fruiting, so we're really excited to see how these do. That one fruited last year, doesn't seem to want to fruit this year. This one is fruiting not quite as much, and this one is a Mac. So we're getting a little bit, you can see there's some fruit on that, so that's kind of great. And right behind it we actually planted last year, so last year or 2 years ago now, it's supposed to be a giant peach. Now, we don't normally buy the full-size trees, but this one we decided to, and it's supposed to take years to establish. But if you see, we actually have one peach. These are supposed to end up being softball size, and I believe it with the size of it right now. So we'll see how that one turns out. And the blueberries and grapes, first of all, these are just wild grapes, I believe. They're seeded. I think they're Concord-esque. But if you can tell, I mean, there are literally hundreds of grapevines there that are just, I mean, we're going to have so much this year. There's a bumper crop for the grapes, so hopefully nothing attacks them too severely and we end up with that. There's actually a planting I made a few years ago, so we're going to expand that just a little bit. And the blueberries, and these are high bush blueberries. That is the way to go. You can see how much height. I'm about 6 feet tall, and that's about 6 feet there, and they still go up. They're supposed to stop at around 6 or 7 feet. So these are exceptionally high on this end. And they go down, I think there's 22 of them, and here's some of the fruit yet to turn, but it's doing exceptionally well. Last year we didn't get a great crop, and this year we're kind of hoping that we get some more. You can kind of see on this end we're putting some nets up so the birds don't get them. And Lachlan's got something. What do you got? Oh, did you catch a frog?
No, that's a toad.
Oh, it's a toad. Yeah, you're right. You don't squish them too much, though.
Let's put him in the frog pond.
Yeah, let's go put them in the pond, huh?
Yeah.
We're going to the pond here. Here's our asparagus. It's done for the year. It's seeded already. It's starting to go to seed. You can see that one's really tall. So we're just kind of going to let it go. We got a few more we could pick, it looks like, but we really need about 3 times as much asparagus for what we eat. We going over to the pond with him?
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't like water, but he likes it to be kind of wet. So the pond right now isn't really full, so maybe that's good for him. All right, stop right here. There's some poison ivy. Stop. Why don't you let him go now?
I don't want to go.
Yeah, put him down on the ground. He's too afraid to jump, I think. There he goes. Oh. Bye, Mr. Toad. Say bye.
Bye.